Well, it's that time again.
What time is that?
It's time to get naked.
Like all the way naked?
Well, keep your clothes on, but it's time for the Naked Party Time podcast where we get real and raw about life, leadership, and love.
While having lots of fun along the way.
So what do you say? Are you ready to get naked?
Let's do it.
Today we are talking about the best parenting decision we ever made, which was pretty easy to determine because we haven't made that many great decisions ever. It was way easier to talk about the best decision we made in one episode because we would need a very long series of episodes to talk about all the poor decisions we made, at least all the poor decisions that I've made, to which Sabrina would say,
this is true. Yeah. All the poor decisions you've made.
I thought you would say amen.
Oh, amen.
But really, while there are many things we wish we could do over as parents or do differently, this decision is right at the top of the best things we've done. And even if you're not a parent, this one decision is something that could be lived out in any relationship, not just a parenting relationship.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say we pretty much live out this decision in our marriage, even with some of our friendships and our extended family as well. But before we dive into that, we do want to officially welcome all of you back to the podcast, or welcome you for the very first time if you're new. This is episode 44 of the Naked Party Time podcast, where we get real and raw, authentic, transparent, and...
I'm not looking.
vulnerable.
Oh, why were you going to make me say that?
About life, leadership, and love. I'm your host, Jeff Manis, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, my wife, my parenting partner, my adventure ally, my vacation vixen, my faithful friend, and my podcast queen, Sabrina. How you like vacation vixen?
I like that. It's kind of naughty.
Oh, wow. Okay. We're off to a start here. How are you doing today, Sabrina?
I'm doing good.
We are currently on a 4-week study break, which explains a little bit the setting. If you're watching on YouTube, hello to you there. Hopefully this video works. Last episode, the phone just stopped recording.
I know. We try every time.
But we are in a random setting here, in different chairs and different setting because we've rented a house for a couple of weeks for my study break. And every year, the Harbor gives the senior pastor an extended study break that is designed for Pastor Rick when he was the senior pastor, and now for myself, to get away and have kind of a time for rest, to be refueled, and to refocus. And I broke my study break up into 3 specific sections that I want to kind of focus on: personal, professional, and preaching. You're already laughing.
Yes, I am.
On the personal side, the rest and the refueling is a big, big deal. Having just come through the biggest transition of our lives, and the biggest transition of our church's life, it took a lot out of us. So this is coming at the perfect time for us. But more than that, one of my big goals in the study break was to reevaluate my life plan based on this new land God has brought us into. I've already finished this week on the study break a book called Living Forward by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy, which is all about developing and following a life plan. It's something I love doing. It's not necessarily up your alley, but something that I love doing. And that's where I spent the majority of my time these first several days, is doing some reflection and prayer about where I am now and where God wants me to go. I finished up my life plan today, and I need to have you read through it. And I'll use that life plan then to formulate my goals for next year. Which next month, by the way, I think we'll do a podcast all about planning for the new year. I've got some new stuff. We've done that annually the last 2 years, but I've got some new stuff I think we can share, and maybe even a tool.
I'm excited to learn about the new stuff.
There you go.
Do I know about it?
I don't think you do.
Oh, well, good.
Yep. We also have a couple of family things planned during the study break as part. So Michaela and I are running the Tough Mudder race in Dallas in a couple of weeks. Sabrina, she wanted to run it, but thought, I want to give everybody else a chance to win. I don't want to be the winner.
Yeah, this is true. I didn't want to show everybody up, so
you're just gonna
make
cheer
you
us on.
feel bad.
Yep, you're just gonna cheer us on.
Yep.
So we have some other stuff. We have a house rented, like I said, and some other stuff we're planning as well. Then I have some professional or leadership things I want to dig deep into during the break. And I want to finish the study break by having my preaching calendar and preaching plan done for 2023. So you have personal, professional, and preaching. I know you're shocked that I had 3 P's for my study break.
So shocked.
Yep, you're surprised, aren't you?
That everything would start with the same letter.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like it's so out of my norm to do that.
Yes, very. I was like, I had to read that twice. 3 P's, what?
Well, I don't want you to get too excited. But as luck would have it, as we walk through the best parenting decision we've ever made, there are also 3 P's.
Oh, goody.
To help us as well. I can sense your sarcasm.
You can sense that?
I can sense it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
If you knew movie quotes like I do, you would throw the Tummy Boy quote out there, which is, I hope you sense it because I'm laying it on pretty thick. Well, 13 years ago, after reading a book called Raising a Modern Day Knight, and then talking with a family friend of ours who had done something similar with their 7 kids. Yes, you heard that correctly. 7 kids. We decided to make a shift in our parenting, specifically around our kids' birthdays. Now that we look back with one of our kids married, 2 others are legal adults, 18 and 21, and one of our children, our youngest, is almost 16. Outside of teaching our kids about Jesus, modeling our faith to them, I think we both agree this is one of, if not the best parenting decision we've ever made. So, Sabrina, what is the decision that we made that we would say is the best decision we ever made?
So we started to focus on memories and moments, not just money and momentos.
We started to focus on memories and moments, not just money and momentos. Or more clearly stated, we stopped buying presents and started creating memories.
Yeah.
It was the best decision we've ever made. Now, some people may be able to do both, and that's great. Mm-hmm. There's literally nothing wrong with buying presents for your kids. But for us, we were living on a very tight budget. So we couldn't do both without it affecting other parts of our lives in a negative way.
Yeah.
Birthdays are a big deal, especially if you're a kid. Like when you're a kid, birthdays are, you look forward to it every single year. So as we sat down and talked about how we wanted to celebrate and honor our kids on their birthdays, what we found was the gifts we were buying were soon forgotten. Clothes wore out. Toys get outdated. The next model comes out. Some gifts were literally just discarded.
Yeah.
They broke instantly or the kids never played with it. Even the money, if they received money, it was quickly spent on junk. Mm-hmm. Like either junk food.
Yeah, exactly. Eating out.
Or junk. So outside of a very few gifts that we got our kids, none of them remembered any of those gifts. But they never stopped talking about moments that we created.
Yeah.
Vacations we took. Silly dinner nights that we would create. Going to that concert or a game or whatever it was like a light bulb went off for us. Memories over mementos. Good times over gifts. Our presence, with a CE, over presence with a TS that we could give them. Like literally us being with them over what we can give them. So anything you want to add there?
No, that was really good. I just am so grateful that God put that person in our life at the right time for us and our kids. And I was trying to think when you were saying all that, how old they were at the last birthday party we had, because we had one for the first,
Jonah was
first, second, or like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, like when they were little like that. Little.
Jonah was 9 when we started this process.
Okay.
So Jada would have been 4.
Okay. Because I remember Jonah more than the other kids on their birthday parties. And sometimes we combine Jonah and Mariah together.
Yeah, close.
Because they're 2 years and 4 days apart. But I was trying to remember, but like I can't recall those birthday parties except for I can recall their first
one, yep.
birthday parties, but after that I cannot recall them.
Yep.
Because it is soon forgotten a
Yep.
lot of times.
Yep. So it did take us a while to get going, but what was the first thing that we needed to do to make this shift in our parenting?
We definitely needed a plan.
Yeah. We needed a plan. The first P, if you're listening. If we were going to change the way we celebrated our kids' birthdays, we needed a plan. Mm-hmm. As Hannibal from A-Team says, I love it when a plan comes together. Remember A-Team?
I do, but...
He would light a cigar and say...
Okay, I was trying to picture what he looked like, and I couldn't...
He was the older guy on A-Team.
Okay.
Not Mr. T.
No, I remember what he looked like.
And here was our plan, okay? All of our kids were under 10 years old when we started this process, and we decided, beginning with their 10th birthday, we were no longer buying toys or gifts for their birthdays. 4 specific birthdays we set as milestone birthdays. So 10 years old, 13, 16, and 18. And I'll get to those in just a second. But every other birthday, okay? And I think even the birthdays before they were 10 for the younger kids.
Yes, we started.
When we started
this.
it.
Yeah.
Every other birthday, except for the milestone ones, we gave the kids a choice. We said, we are budgeting $150 for your birthday. You can have a birthday party with, all your friends, and we'll pay for the birthday party and all that stuff, and they can bring gifts. Or you can spend the entire day with us. We'll go out to eat. We'll do an activity that you choose, just you and us. And sometimes we'd allow one friend to come. So we gave them a choice. We're not buying you gifts, but we'll either pay for a big birthday party and your friends can bring gifts, or you can spend one whole day with us. We'll go out to eat and do an activity. And we were shocked at our kids' response. As I said, we've done this now for 13 years. Our kids never once, not one time, chose a birthday party with their friends. Every single year since we've started this, they chose the day with us.
It is amazing that they wanted to be with us.
Yeah.
And usually if their birthday was on a school day, we would let them skip school that day.
Which probably helped.
That probably did help. But if they wanted to bring a friend, as long as we could fit it into the $150 budget, the friend could come, we would pay for them, but they also had to miss school. So that was kind of a, big deal, because then other parents had to, go along with what we were doing.
Yep.
And not every kid always wanted to bring a friend, but that was an option.
Yep. And so literally every birthday before 10 years old, and then 11, 12, 14, 15,
17.
and 17, they chose this to spend the day with us. And we have done so many different things. Trampoline parks, ice skating, movies, arcades, go-karts, laser tag, putt-putt. We did indoor skydiving.
Went to the melting pot.
Melting pot. Yeah, Mariah and I did indoor skydiving. First, when Jada was really little, because she started this at the youngest age, Build-A-Bear.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd buy 2 Build-A-Bears and still have money left over. Michaela did Build-A-Bear a bunch on these days. Special restaurants. Every single non-milestone birthday, our kids chose the day with us, and it's been incredible.
Yes, it's like my favorite day of the year, to just make it all about them, spoil them. They know their budget. They're sticking to their budget. And so there's freedom in that.
Yep. So we would find childcare, for the other kids when they were younger.
Yeah.
And it would just be the one kid and us. And really, our times have been priceless together. As you said, it's been so fun just to spend time with that individual child one-on-one for one whole day and invest in them over the years. Anything you want to add there?
No, I just have loved it.
So that was the non-milestone birthdays. For the big milestone birthdays, 10 years, 13 years, 16 years, 18 years, which is really, it really is a graduation trip from school.
Yeah.
More than an 18th birthday. But at
But
10,
usually they're 18.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for each of the milestone birthdays, at 10 years old, they got to go on an overnight trip with mom or dad. So the girls went with mom, and then Jonah went with me. I kind of got gypped.
Yeah,
You got 3 different.
Yes, I got the golden
You
ticket.
got all the trips.
I know. I've been to so many awesome places.
Not fair. But what we did was we told the kids, hey, we planned $500 for this overnight trip on your 10th birthday. And you can go anywhere you want to go overnight and do any activity as long as it fits within the budget. Mm-hmm. Okay? I will say we've fudged the budget here and there when it doesn't fit perfectly.
When we first started, we fudged it with Jonah and Mariah. Because we learned and we're like, okay, if we're going to make this count for all these birthdays, we have got to pull back this first one. Because we didn't really know. But so we've learned.
Yep. But all of our kids have taken that 10th birthday trip. I went to a cabin in the mountains with Jonah where we literally shot birds and squirrels with BB guns for hours on end. It ain't nothing but junk food for a weekend. You took Mariah on a trip to see some Laura Ingalls Wilder stuff.
Yeah, we stayed in a covered wagon. It was so fun.
You took Michaela to Colorado Springs.
Oh, we fed the giraffes.
There was a zoo where you can feed giraffes. You took Jada, I think hers was to Denver overnight. She did Build-A-Bear.
We went to the movies. Yeah.
At 13 years old then, so that was the 10-year-old trip, $500 overnight. At 13, we planned $1,500 in the budget. They could go anywhere they wanted to go and do anything they wanted to do for a total of 3 nights, as long as it fit within the budget.
Yeah, 4 days, 3 nights.
All of our kids have done this trip as well. I took Jonah to LA for like 4 nights, I think. We were in a convertible. It was an absolute blast.
And he had the long Bieber hair.
Yeah, he
was so cool looking.
We went to amusement park. We went to Chinese theater. We went and walked the stars in Hollywood. We went to the beach. We went to the Hollywood sign. We did so much stuff. We saw a ton of stuff.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. You, again, got to go on 3 trips. You took Mariah. This is what we were living in. It's kind of funny. We were living in Cheyenne. You brought Mariah to Galveston.
Her and a friend.
You took Michaela to San Diego.
Yeah, we went with a friend.
And you took Jada to Florida.
Yep, and Jada took Michaela. Yeah. So that was super fun. I got to go to Florida with both Jada and Michaela.
Then at 16 years old, we told the kids, we're not going to do a trip at 16, but we're going to still budget $1,500, and we will put that towards your first car. Anything you save can be added to that $1,500, but we're only going to give you $1,500 towards your first car. The first 3 kids all bought their very first car with that $1,500, and some of them with more money saved than others. What's crazy now is car prices have soared. And so Jada's $1,500 might have to be adjusted because the dollar doesn't go as far today.
Well, and thankfully she doesn't even want a car.
Yeah.
So like we maybe have some more time. She has more time to save. Yeah. We have more time to save. Because like Michaela's car cost $2,000. I think Jonah's car cost $2,000. I think everybody's first car was like at $2,000.
And Michaela's still driving hers, and Jonah's still driving. No. Jonah's not driving his.
No.
He got another one.
He wrecked his.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they got him through high school, and so that's all they needed.
Yep. So lastly, then for the 18th birthday graduation trip, we called it.
Yeah.
We told them, we're going to plan $5,000. You can go anywhere and do anything for a full week as long as it fits in that budget. And on this trip, I finally got to go because on the graduation trip, both parents would go and they could bring one friend with them. 3 of our 4 kids have done this, kinda.
Yeah.
Jonah kind of got gypped. We had a cruise planned with one of his friends in May of 2020 after he got his high school equivalency, but COVID shut the world down.
Yeah.
So that cruise got canceled. We ended up bringing his friend on a Disney World trip with us later that next year, and used his graduation trip money for that. But now looking back, we wish we would have done something just with Jonah.
Well, we still can. Even though he's 21, we can still take him and do something with him.
Which we might do that.
Yeah.
So he kind of got his, but we did take Mariah to Seattle for several days. And
we went on 2 senior trips last year.
Yeah. We took Mariah and Michaela because they both graduated the same year on their senior trips. We took Mariah to Seattle, and then we took Michaela to Jackson Hole, Wyoming for a week with one of her friends. And
both trips were amazing.
They were such a blast.
Michaela took a friend, which was totally fine. But it's just so fun. Like, Jeff and I literally just follow them around, catering to them, taking pictures of them, doing whatever they want to do. They get to decide and choose. And like with Mariah, $5,000 went a long ways because it was just the 3 of us.
Yep.
Now, Jackson Hole is quite a bit more expensive. So with
And
the
we had
4 of
four
us...
But we still did quite a bit.
Yeah, we did a ton. We just had to kind of watch our food budget a little bit. But still, it's amazing thing to do. And really, now that Mariah is married, like to have that last one-on-one time with her was so special.
Yep. So Jada is going to be 16 here in December. So she's got some time. But she's been saying for a long time that she wants to go to New York City.
Yeah,
for hers.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
They kind of have to decide
about a year in advance.
Yeah, just so we can kind of start planning.
Don't get ahead of ourselves. It's in the podcast.
Okay.
So we had a plan.
I was talking about planning.
I know, but you're talking about the next thing.
Okay, sorry.
We had to plan to create memories over momentos. Sabrina, what was the next step to get this best parenting decision done?
We had to prepare.
This wasn't going to happen without massive preparation.
Yes.
First of all, trips like this just don't happen. And second, 4 kids multiplied by all that money, we had to prepare financially. We didn't just have that money waiting without some preparation.
No, so literally back when Jonah was 9, we had to do all the math.
Yeah,
sorry.
Talk about that.
Sorry. Keep my mouth shut.
Sabrina and I, we do choose all the time to live on a budget below our means. We would encourage everyone to do that. We tell every dollar where to go in our budget. Because the reality is, if you don't tell your money where to go, it will find a place to go real quick. So we live on a budget. Every paycheck, Sabrina and I sit down and we tell all of our money where to go on paper first. We give every single dollar a name and put it in its place. The first 10%, called the tithe, always goes to God first through the local church that we're a part of, which right now is the Harbor. We then save and invest next, and the rest we budget until it is all spent on paper to equal 0. But this was going to cost, this parenting decision was going to cost a lot of money. And outside of our mortgage, one of our core convictions as a couple is we don't do debt.
Yeah.
So debt was not an option for us to pay for these trips. We were not going to put these trips on a credit card.
Right.
So outside of our mortgage, we owe nothing to anyone. We don't have any car payments. We don't carry a balance on our credit card. We do have a rewards credit card that gives us 2% cash back every month. We use that credit card for as much as we can, and then we never once carried a balance on it. We pay it off every single month in full, and then we use the rewards to put towards our activities, our time with our kids, right? To put towards these moments. We also have a healthy emergency savings account, and our prayer is we will never have to go into debt again.
Yes.
But even with a savings account, living debt-free, and living on a budget, I'm not sure we were prepared for the number we were about to see, right?
Yes, very true.
We literally sat down, as you stated a second ago, and we figured out how much money total this was going to cost by the time Jada had her 18th birthday trip. We went, how many trips do we have? How much will it cost? all starting with Jonah all the way to Jada, every annual birthday activity, every milestone birthday activity, we added it all up. Then we worked backwards, asking the question, how much money do we need to save every paycheck in order to fund these memories? After Sabrina woke me up from passing out, when I saw that number, we got to work.
Do you know what it is?
I know what we're saving now, but I don't remember what it was at the time. We've had some infusions of cash, bonuses, we've had some large lump sums of money come in when you would work a paint job that
we could put towards that to kind of help
that
a
changed
little bit.
the paycheck amount.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what it was at the time.
Yeah.
I remember it being overwhelming.
Yeah. It sounds like a great idea. Then you add up all the money and you're like, oh, crap. Can we really do this?
But we started. We started saving. And for 13 years now, we've been saving for trips. We've been saving for 13 years for a trip that our youngest child won't take for another 2 years.
Crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
We are constantly evaluating our budget, looking for ways to save here and there, and readdressing where we are at in saving for those birthday trips and activities. We also prepare way ahead on the actual trips themselves, looking for the best deals to save a buck here or there. For every birthday trip, we budget it out before we go. So we spend all the money on paper before we ever spend it in person, so that we know heading into the trip, this $1,500, this $5,000 will cover everything that we want to do. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we've been blessed on, I think, every trip to say, hey, we've got some extra money. And I'm pretty sure we've overspent on every one of them, but we had the money to do it on every single trip. Without being intentional about our preparation, we would end up overspending every single time. So we plan, we prepare, and what's the last P, Sabrina?
We participate.
That's right. That's the fun part.
That's the best one.
Except there is a hard part about participating, which we'll talk about. But we do. We participate in the memory. Not just that we get to go with them, although that is a blast. Mm-hmm. But we are always talking with our kids about what they want to do. Yeah. And where they want to go for these big trips.
We're always dreaming.
Always dreaming with our kids.
Yeah.
This helps us in the planning and preparing stages. When we first started talking about this with our kids, they had some pretty big ideas.
Yes, they did.
Like Mariah, our oldest daughter, second oldest child, she wanted, for the longest time, she wanted to go to Florida for her 18th birthday. At the time we were talking about this, she loved manatees and thrill rides. And so she said for the longest time that she wanted to go to Florida and skydive into a pool of manatees. Mm-hmm. She was convinced she was going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Michaela was a giraffe fanatic, and for years it was her plan to do a safari for her 18th birthday, which I don't think $5,000 would have gotten even one of us on an actual safari.
Yeah, that's true.
The point is, all along the way, we participated with them in dreaming about what we would do. It was an easy way to keep us involved, but also to help us plan and prepare.
Yeah.
So how else, besides participating with the dreaming part, how else do we have to participate, Sabrina?
I can't say it because it doesn't start with a P.
But it's not. This is part of the last P. It's not a new P.
Oh, okay. It's like a sub P.
It's how else do we have to participate?
Oh, okay. That's
so
P.
It's part of the participate.
Okay. I just didn't want you to start like having a seizure
I
or
know.
something.
I'm good.
Okay. By making sacrifices.
Exactly. This was the not so fun part.
Yeah.
And again, some people may have the resources to do this without much of a sacrifice, and that's amazing. That's awesome. But for us, we had to make major sacrifices in order to make these trips and memories a priority. We do this in our marriage as well. We've prioritized in our marriage memories, trips, and adventures over gifts.
Yeah.
It's just something that we do. We don't really do gifts for birthdays, for Christmas, or for Valentine's Day. We sacrifice those things in order to travel and make memories.
Yeah.
Now, you are a gift giver.
I am.
I hate getting gifts, but you usually you'll do something very, very, very small for those to give to me on those occasions. But we pretty much don't do gifts.
No.
For anything. We both drive paid for cars. I drive a 2000 GMC Sierra truck with over 200,000 miles on it. Sabrina drives a paid for 2016 Kia Sorento with over 120,000 miles on it. Mm-hmm. And while we are generously provided for by the harbor and we're by Element, and we are abundantly blessed in so many ways, we make sacrifices in other parts of our life so that we can splurge in this part of our life.
Yes.
And sure, there are many things we would love to do or love to have that we have to say no to. But the no we say to those things is worth the yes we say to the others.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Every no is a yes to those other things. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this. Whatever is your priority is what you'll plan your money around.
Yeah.
You want to know what your priorities are? Look at your checkbook.
Yeah.
It'll show you what your priorities are. Another way we participate through sacrifices is we go where our kids want to go and do what our kids want to do. Although Sabrina is pretty well known.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
You're pretty well known in our family of trying to interject. Like if we're talking about the kids on where do you want to go out to eat?
I'm just making suggestions.
You'll say things like, "Oh, well, Taco Bell sounds good." If Taco Bell's what you want. So you're good at, "Oh, we should go do this."
Mm-hmm. I am good at that.
Yeah.
I know for me, I like to have choices. So I'm just trying to help our children have choices to make it easier.
Yep.
And if those choices happen to be something I like, well, then we can all be happy.
Yeah, I know. You're just trying to be helpful.
Yes, I am.
I mean, let's be real. Not every place our kids have gone and not everything they've wanted to do is something we would have chosen to do.
True, but I think when you're there with them,
yeah. Absolutely.
It's so worth it.
I'm just saying, it's not what we would have chosen to do. Not every place they want to eat on a trip is where we want to eat.
Yeah, because don't they know the rule? When you go on vacation somewhere, you eat at places you can't eat at home.
That's right.
That's the rule.
That's the rule. Sabrina, when you took Mariah on her trip to Galveston for her 13th birthday, where did her and her friend want to eat every time?
Sonic. Or Chick-fil-A. We are like surrounded by these amazing restaurants.
Fresh seafood and...
I'm like, you really want to go to Sonic again? Yeah, Mom, that's what we want. I'm like, okay, here we go to Sonic.
I was in LA with Jonah, and that's when he was on his McDonald's kick. And we were in LA. Again, some of the best restaurants in the world.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to either McDonald's or Buffalo Wild Wings every single meal.
When you're a kid, you don't have those mature palates as an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sure when we were kids, we would have done the same thing.
But we participated by going along with their desires.
Yes. It wasn't about me. It's about them.
I will say sometimes trying to interject because you can only have so much McDonald's and Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, and I can only have so much. Yeah, I was like, please, can we go somewhere else?
Yeah.
We have the money. Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. So the best parenting decision we ever made. Memories over mementos. Good times together over gifts. Our presence with them over giving presents to them. Nothing wrong with buying gifts for your kids. Yeah. We still do that for Christmas and other times as well. But for us, we couldn't do both for their birthdays. And we are so glad that we chose memories first. Sabrina, anything else?
I was thinking earlier when you were talking about our credit card points that now we have, a lot of adult children. And so we're not doing birthdays with the adult kids anymore. Yeah. Now they get $50 just cash for their birthday. But we are taking those credit card points and doing a quarterly event.
Family activity.
With them. And so that's been fun.
Yep.
Like we went to Dave and Buster's.
Yep. We've done Top Golf,
This
axe
last
throwing.
quarter. Yeah, we did axe throwing. So like we're still making those memories with them, even though we are giving them, $50 cash for their birthday. We're still going out of our way and making those sacrifices to do an activity with them, making those memories with them, because that's now important to them. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see them, if they get married and if they have children, if they implement that, because it has meant so much to them. I can't even tell you how many times Mariah and Michaela and Jonah and even Jada have come back and said, like, that was my favorite trip, or I'm so glad you guys took us and took that time to be just with us. Like, it really does mean so much to them. And I think if you have multiple children, it is hard to get alone time with them. So not only have we done this, but then we've also done dad time where you've taken them out and we've set, again, money aside in our budget. We've sacrificed again to do that. And we sacrificed to go to Disney World. We've done that twice now. So like it is just high on our priority list to live our lives in such a way now, making these memories with them that they'll last a lifetime. We don't want to wait till retirement to go do all these things. We want to do it now. And it means saying no to things maybe some of our friends are doing so that we can have these special memories with them.
And I don't think our kids, I can't remember them ever talking about a gift we gave them a year after we gave it.
We get them gifts every year for Christmas. Like, I spend so much time knowing what they want, shopping, looking around, trying to find the best deal. I try to make our Christmas money go so far. We save all year for it. And I hardly ever hear them be like, Mom, that was the best gift you ever got me. Like that. They talk about the things we do at Christmas time, the special things we've done. Or
they talk about these trips all the time.
Yes. Or the certain things you do every year, but man, they continually bring up the trips. And even as adults, they continually ask us, when can we go to Disney World again? When can we go on a cruise again? Like, they even crave that memory and that moment with us, which what a blessing to have that relationship with them.
So listen, we have done plenty of things wrong.
Oh my goodness. Don't even get us started.
Just ask our kids.
They'll tell you.
We have done plenty of things wrong. If we could go back and do things differently or do things over, there is so much we would do differently and do over. We've had to apologize to our kids. I don't know how many times. Just this last week, I apologized to 2 of our kids for something that you did, Sabrina.
Oh, really?
For something that I did. So please hear us. While this is one thing we've done really, really well, there is still so much we did not do well and so much we still have to grow in.
Yes.
But man, I am so thankful that we were inspired to do this 13 years ago. And I'm glad that our kids have loved it along the way. And
I hope if our kids have kids, that we as grandparents
can do it for the grandkids.
Can also keep doing the same thing, not only with our grandkids, but also with our kids. Like, why can't we just take our kids somewhere? And I want to keep that going.
All right. So next month, Lord willing, we're going to talk about planning for 2023. It's hard to believe that we're less than a quarter away from another year fast approaching. So we're going to do that next month. If you have questions at all about anything we've talked about, or if you got a podcast idea, please email my assistant at hello@jeffmanis.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels. Just look for Sabrina Manis or Jeff Manis. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm on Twitter a little bit. Please subscribe, like, rate, review, and share the podcast with all of your friends. That would be fantastic. For now, why don't we end with our marriage mission? We are united in Christ, unstoppable with Christ, and unbreakable because of Christ. Now it's time for you to go get naked
and party.
We'll see you on the other side. You've been listening to the Naked Party Time podcast. Join us next time as we get real and raw about life, leadership, and love.